Hey guys, this is Austin, and you might remember this guy. So last year we tried to rebuild a super old school desktop with some proper, I got that on there really tight, some proper internals. So with a RTX 2080 Ti, Core i7 9th gen, it was very exciting. However, one of the problems we had was that because I gave myself 8 hours to do the entire build, it technically works, but well, with no cooling inside and all this hardware, it runs toasty. And by toasty, I mean like, it's obscenely warm. So today, we're going to try to fix that and actually rebuild this thing properly. All right, so some of my parts are in. I'm actually still waiting for Amazon to deliver a few more things. But first step, I want to take everything out of this case because as you can see, it is pretty filthy. Now to be fair, this actually system does work. So right now it is fine. The main issue though is especially with that 2080 Ti, it was incredibly warm. Like way too warm that I would ever want to run a system at. Like it was throttling pretty heavily. Now I did order a Blu-ray drive. So at least we'll be able to cover this hole. But I'm definitely gonna keep the CD drive there just because it looks cool.
Did we not order a white one?
No, I couldn't find a white one. Wait, does that look janky enough that it actually looks okay?
No, that's actually fine.
Okay, so we've got our WD black. We'll put that back in a little bit.
Actually, don't remember building this thing at all. So
It was like December. It was like a few months ago. It was like 6 months ago. You don't remember the video at all?
And we're overclocking this?
Yes. So I think we're gonna actually be able to reuse almost everything on this board. So we have 16 gigs of RAM. Yes, 16 gigs of RAM, so that should be fine. Wait, no, I think I lied. Oh, it's 8 gigs of RAM. Wow, we really got lazy. I'll find some more RAM. Oh, look at that. Beautiful thermal paste application by Past Austin.
At least we did one thing right?
Hey. Dude, I'm so excited for that case speaker.
Because it actually worked.
It does. I like the beeping when I turn on my system. All right, I think that is about as clean as that's going to get. That's actually way shinier than it used to be. So with our i7 9700K out, we pretty much got this entire thing disassembled, which means that, I guess let's try to figure out how we can put fans in here first. So if we take this out.
Yeah. Scratches build character, it's fine.
Wait, we just have an exposed fan here? No, look at it from the front. Do we have some kind of grill or grate or something we can put on top of it?
You know what we can do?
What can we do?
I can go to Target and make one.
So we finally have, a day later, our Amazon package with not only the cooler for the system, which I really hope fits, but importantly, we also have our brand new Z390 motherboard. Now this is important for a couple of reasons. First of all, there's no actually real reason why we have this ITX. We have a much larger board now. But importantly, since this is Z390, we'll be able to overclock this a little bit better. So my thought is that we should split this up. So I'll work on getting the motherboard and the cooler built if you want to figure out how to get the actual 80 mil fans installed in here. We don't have, we barely have clearance for the power supply. Oh man, that's close. All right. So that's gonna be a little flashy, this actually does have LEDs on board, or rather it has RGB. I might turn that off because I definitely don't want any RGB coming out, but I mean, there's no window or anything, so we should be okay.
All right, so I got a bunch of things that look like they're overkill for that one vent, but Home Depot doesn't exactly sell, you know, this big of whatever hardware cloth, wiring, whatever you want to call it. It's like a very complicated model building. Hey, look at that. Cool. So I added the mesh and I glued it in place, and most of it is all like set and like the glue's dried and stuff. In the meantime, while I let that dry, we can actually add the 80 mil fan to the inside now. Yeah, like that.
Hey Ken, we may have overlooked something. Where's our hard drive gonna go now? Okay, let's put it here for right now, above the Blu-ray drive.
Look, it would actually look really nice like right here.
That doesn't look really nice. That looks dumb. It looks like you forgot your hard drive. Another day and another chance to work on the old boy PC. So last night we got this thing actually set up. It is posting and I've got Windows and everything installed. I did some very minor cable management, but the main thing is that we're still waiting on the bracket to actually put our normal 1 terabyte hard drive in so we can pair this with Optane. I will say this thing does look pretty sleepery. So besides the black power supply, which is a little bit of a giveaway, everything else back here looks pretty standard. I mean, if you look at the motherboard, obviously DisplayPort wasn't around in 2001, but with our PCI covers on board, it looks fairly low key, but especially if you come around front, I'm pretty happy with just how old school this system looks. I will say, this looks a little bit more jank than I think I had hoped it would be, but I really don't know what else we can do with it. We can overclock the 2070, but I'm Wait, what? Where did a 2070 come from? Well, originally I had something different in mind. The main thing I'm going to do here is swap out that 2080 with this RTX 2070. This should give me a much more reasonable TDP inside this case. So I was noticing this is running a little bit slower than I expected, and I opened it up to find that the fan's not spinning. I was like, oh, that's weird. Well, the fan is oversized. It's literally stuck on the battery on the motherboard. So this is a passively cooled RTX 2070 right now. Through a weird coincidence, we may have to put the 2080 Ti back in here, because that's probably our best option. Okay, so the 2080 Ti is up and running. I'm currently running through my first run of Time Spy. It's toasty. Like, it's no doubt that there's a lot of heat coming out of the back, not only because of the power supply, but also because of the rear exhaust fan, both of which are dumping heat this way. So we're throttling somewhat, although actually it's not too bad. So I think now what I'm going to do is I'm going to manually spin up the fans a little bit more, and then we can start overclocking. I'm not gonna touch that 2080 Ti. It's already throttling as is, but what I do think is we have some headroom on the processor. So normally I would overclock manually, or sometimes I'll give the motherboard auto tool a try, but Intel now has a performance maximizer tool. So this is not something you can use on all Intel CPUs. So you need Z390 and you need a 9th gen processor. So that actually took about an hour. The screen went black for almost that entire time, so I wasn't sure if it was working, but it looks like it did. Let's see what our results are. So we got 200 megahertz more. Alright, I mean, that's not exactly the largest overclock in the world, but it's better than it telling us that we don't have enough cooling to run it at stock speeds, right?
You know, I actually have a mod that I
Okay.
think can help us.
Okay,
You want to hold the camera for a
I
second?
will hold the camera.
Problem solved.
I mean, that actually does solve the problem, but it kind of ruins the aesthetic. Now you can tell this is clearly not a stock-looking system.
We can turn off the LEDs or tape over them, and we have beige in it.
Powered everything.
So, what is happening?
Okay, so it's been a couple days since we finished Old Boy. We're trying to shoot the conclusion, and for some reason, it's no longer posting or booting whatsoever. So this is the point in the video where I was going to give you an update and like, hey, look, Old Boy's done. We installed our hard drive and a new enclosure. It's all up and running and perfect.
Wait, you installed the hard drive. Were you wearing your anti-static ankle bracelet? Let's revisit Old Boy, he said.
No, it's fine, it's fine.
Let's reshoot the ending, he
It's
said.
fine, it's fine.
You know, this video was done.
Come on, Old Boy. There's nothing to be so smug about, you know.
Not smug, I'm just...
Right. So I'm gonna reseat the memory. But I just don't understand what changed. Like, it's literally been 2 days. I hear friendly beeps, worrying and wishing and whooping and VGA. It's a VGA problem. Oh. Okay. So let me reseat the graphics card. I think the cable just was tension because I'm like,
Oh God.
what was that?
What did you do?
It was like a thump. All right, so let me put a different graphics card in now.
All right, so we have the new card in.
I just put a 1650 in just to see if it's a 2080 Ti issue or it's a motherboard issue or what.
You'll probably lose.
This was fine before. Wait, should we try a different monitor? There's no way the monitor would keep it from posting.
Okay, so just put it up here. We'll just rely on integrated graphics and see if that works.
Pull the graphics card out
Just pull
altogether.
the graphics card altogether.
Okay, so we can't even boot on integrated graphics. What could have gone wrong? Did you like unplug something to make this video more interesting?
No. Why would I do that?
Wait.
No, I didn't. I really did.
So I've cleared the CMOS now, and now, nope. Okay, so CPU comes up, VGA, and it sits on VGA. It just can't get any kind of graphics up. We know everything is plugged in. We've tried different GPUs. We've even tried running on the integrated graphics.
Hold on. I have a plan.
What plan might that be?
You want to hold the camera. Now, I want to know if you did this when you were a kid, because you had a TV when you were a kid, right?
A TV?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? This is off, right? Yeah, it's off.
I guess. Yeah.
So, something that we did growing up to get the TV to work. So the shot.
It is now supposedly fine. By switching to to HDMI. Let's actually pull this monitor because the monitor is the only thing that's changed. If the monitor is enough to keep this entire system from posting, just gotta find my inner Zen right now. My inner Ryzen.
So they plugged in a line from the PC to our TV over here just to see.
Coming up though.
No?
Is it coming up, Matt? I'm not getting the beeps anymore when we unplug the DisplayPort. Let's try HDMI with the integrated graphics. That's the only thing left. If this doesn't fix it, I'm literally at a loss for what happened. Something must have broken.
All right, moment of truth.
It's not gonna, I mean, I don't think it's gonna work. Okay, go straight to boot, pretend it's fine. Oh, are you f***ing serious right now?
Wow.
I don't understand how this monitor can keep the entire system from posting. Like that to me is crazy. All right, I'm just gonna drop this in slot 1 like it was before. So now, in theory, oh, what?
Moral of the story.
What is the moral of the story? The moral of the story is life's not fair sometimes, and there are just no answers to life's mysteries. Or I did something dumb and I don't know, but I can't imagine what did it. I can't.
The moral of the story. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I swear to God, if that's the end of the video, I'm gonna be so mad. So Ken, what do we have up right now?
So, we're in Windows. We were in Windows. Okay, no, we're in Windows again. So right now we're plugged into HDMI on the 2080
We're
Ti.
back to setup. It's literally set up the way it was. The issue the entire time had nothing to do with the computer. It was the display, which kept it from posting and kept us from getting any signal.
Because this is a 1080 display over HDMI. That's 4K. No, so is this. So I think it might be.
You're trying to tell me that the issue to our entire problem here is that our 2080 Ti can't push a 4K signal? That's the whole problem?
That's my theory.
That's a dumb theory. Well, why don't we do this? Before we do that, why don't we take the DisplayPort and plug it into this monitor? The system just restarted. Okay. Why did? What? How is unplugging the DisplayPort? Hold on. Let me compose myself for a second. So the issue we're having right now is that if we plug anything DisplayPort in, regardless of the display, into the graphics card or the integrated graphics, our system no longer boots. I've never seen plugging a DisplayPort cable into a graphics card reboot a system. I cannot fucking imagine that. Do we have like some weird cable shorting it?
I mean, it's crazy because.
No.
You're committed?
This will not stand.
Oh, it's on.
Wait, it was the cable? It was. So the problem the entire time was that we had a long DisplayPort cable, and that was enough to kill the system. A DisplayPort cable, I'm gonna lose my mind. Are you?
So, wait, so if we plug in that cable into here, will it work?
Yeah, I'm sure it will. I'm sure, 100% sure it will.
In hindsight, it felt like we probably should have tried that an hour ago.
Thanks, Matt. I'm sure this is just gonna magically show up. Yeah. Wait, let me see this cable. I'm actually really curious to see what kind of evil cable caused this many problems. It's a long DisplayPort cable, but I've never seen a cable cause this many issues. Here you go. You can take it and just see how long it is. See? Look how far apart we are right now. This was enough to kill the system, regardless of what graphics card we plugged it into, regardless of integrated graphics.
It restarted the system.
You plug this in and it restarts it. Where did you put the cable?